So my areas, lots of American flags. Just about every flag, you could tell, had been left out overnight for at least the last month or so because they were all tattered, they were all dirty, they were turning themselves into ribbons. And I see that everywhere. A lot of people will just put their flags out and call themselves a patriot. To me, I call that false patriotism. I'm a vet. I fought for my country. The flag is a huge symbol for me. I grew up in a military family. Grandparents, parents, all of them military. I went military, my husband military. And to see people flying flags that are tattered and falling apart and dull is the biggest insult to the American population, to the American people, to the country. Because your flag is supposed to be the embodiment of the country for each individual place. Your house, your business, whatever. Most flags are meant to be taken down at the end of the day. They go up first thing in the morning when you open your business, and they come down at the end of the day when you close. You don't fly it in inclement weather, and putting a spotlight on it and being able to fly it 24 hours a day because, that's there's some law that allows you to do that. I think it's the biggest insult I've ever seen. My local post office has an absolutely tattered flag. The largest flag that's flown in town is in tatters as well. It's ribboned all the way down. Our garrison flag is doing pretty decent, but it's like hidden in the trees. And that one's still okay. But a garrison flag is meant to be flown 24/7. Most flags are not. They are supposed to be brought down at the end of the day. On a military base, the garrison flag is the only one that stays up overnight. And they will actually bring it down in inclement weather. Inclement weather means rain, snow, something that's not essentially like a sunny day. I have always had an issue with people leaving their flags up. I call it false patriotism because all you're doing is showing how much of a bigot you are. Oh, I put my flag up. And I leave it up all the time. It's always flying. Everybody can see how much of a patriot I am. You're not a patriot. You are you're a bigot. You are a false patriot. If you actually cared about the country and everything, you would care about democracy. You would care about, taking care of your flag, which is supposed to be, once again, the embodiment of the country. The white is supposed to represent the innocent lives lost. The red is supposed to represent the blood. And if people look at the flag and they think white supremacy, what the hell? Okay, fine. You know what? No more white. Let's make it black. And no more red, because I'm tired of blood. Let's make it rainbow. And the stars, 50 stars. Okay, I love even numbers. I'm all for that. But we haven't made any new states in 50 years, and the last ones were Alaska and Hawaii. And they're not even actually connected to the continental United States. In fact, they were territories. Alaska was bought from Russia. Something like that. Anyways, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Guam, they should all be given statehood, if anything, to at least up the amount of senators that we have to, give these people who are considered American citizens a voice in the government which controls their islands and the economy therein. Oh, right. The more money something is worth, the more money an economy is worth, the better it is for whichever donors benefit from it. But who cares about that, right? I'm all about equality. I love equality. That's actually one of my favorite things. But to be equal in this country, we need to increase the amount of representatives we have in the House of Representatives. The reason being, the state of Wyoming is given one representative to represent somewhere around like 188,000 people. Oh no, wait, that's the Electoral College. Whatever, they're given one representative. And that number actually, when you break it down into the Electoral College, breaks down to 188,000 people for one electoral vote in Wyoming, whereas in California, it's over 2 million for one electoral vote. Our electoral system is screwed up and it needs to be completely refurbished. If we make it an actual ratio of people to representative, one representative to so many people, we are looking at something like over 1,200 representatives. I'm not against that, but we need to move the capital because Washington, D.C. and the Capitol building are too small. It was created, think about it this way. When Washington, D.C. was created, the only people allowed to vote were white men. Since then, the slaves, which were counted as 3/5 of a person, by the way, so 3/5 of a person. So it takes 5 people to equal 3 people in the population. Okay, so that's the first screw up. The founding fathers knew how to screw with math and screw the rest of us up. Women were not counted. We were counted in the population. Children were counted in the population as well. But once women got the right to vote, once slavery was ended, and each former slave, was counted as a person, the House of Representatives could not keep up because we expanded. We expanded very, very fast, very rapidly. The Capitol's just not big enough. I think they voted back in like the 90s to cap it at like 500 and some random mass number. And that is why the Electoral College doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and why so many people have an issue with it, but they want to keep it the same. Because they know that if we actually went off of the actual population, the red states would only get 1 vote, and the blue areas would get all the votes. And that's kind of how it works. It's called population disbursement. You're supposed to vote based on population. But, let's make it party lines and all that crap. Gerrymandering. Gerrymandering would not have been a thing if we had actually had an equal vote, whether it be in the Electoral College or in the House of Representatives. Another point. All of our laws are written in legalese. How many people actually understand what the hell legalese says? Not that many. I kind of understand it, but it's hard even for me. And that's stupid. Why are we making our laws in a language that most people don't understand? You have to be a lawyer to understand this crap. And I have a lawyer friend. He's said that he thinks that all lawyers should be allowed to, lawyers should be the ones that make laws. No, that's absolutely stupid. The people need to be making the laws. You steal, that's bad. You kill, that's bad. You embezzle money, that's bad. You take a bribe, that's bad. But all of our laws need to be written simply for people to understand, not 2,000 or 5,000 pages and you have 2 hours to vote on it. How much crap did they shove in there? How much crap did they shove in that bill? I mean, sure, each American person gets $600 or whatever the heck it was. How much crap did they shove in there? How much? Like, how much is each lobbyist going to make? How much is each corporation going to get? I've always stood by the idea that let's just wipe everything out. Give every American person, every American resident, $1 million. For kids, that can go into their college fund to pay for college, which hopefully will not still be at the insane prices that it is. To help people get out of debt, because that's one thing that's definitely holding all of us back. To be able to buy a home and to live in that home and to fix that home and to make it better. $1 million per person is expensive. Oh, absolutely. It's like $330 trillion. But why not? Oh, and if you want to go after people that make more than that, okay, that's like a grand total of like 1,000 people that don't get that $1 million. Whatever. You know what? We need the money. The American people need the money. And we're already working to pay off all of our debts, all of our taxes. We're going to have to work until the end of time. I mean, sure, if you want to say you can't leave the country until you pay back this money. All right. That's fine. I'll pay it. I'll work for 10 years, pay back all the money that I owe, whatever leftover money that I have, I will give to you. But I want to leave the country too. I like America, but I don't like the poverty that we have been put into. The American people are slaves to this debt system, debt society. If you don't have money, you are no better than a beggar. And we've got a middle class, right? The middle class that's supposed to have a house, that's supposed to have money in the bank for emergencies. They have more debt than anybody actually realizes. They don't actually have money. They have debt. And that's all it is. If you ever actually want to get out of debt, you have to essentially kill people to get money. And it's pretty nasty that you have to be willing to sacrifice other people's lives to be able to live comfortably. I don't like it. I never have. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll find somebody who's willing to actually stand up and say, hey, this is fucked up. This isn't how America's supposed to be. America's supposed to be about the land of the free, the home of the brave. You know what? There's been enough bravery and death and free, the land of the free. Dude, the only time anything's actually going to be free is if we actually go to communism. Because there, you get everything that you need for free. Like, a place to live, food to eat, and you work for everything that you want. Like extras, artwork. Artwork should be, something you pay for. But I make my own, so who knows? Maybe one day. We'll see.